Hello, everybody. I'm Lisa Shield, and this is Finding the Guardian of Your Soul. It is lovely to be here. I want to talk to you about wrapping a man around your little finger. I was thinking today, what do I want to talk about? And uh, I've been working with the women in our course about masculine and feminine energy. This has been a really hot topic with so many of the women that we work with. And I was reflecting on my own journey to becoming a more feminine woman, a woman who embraces her feminine energy and what that looked like for me. Where did that journey start? How did I begin to become aware of the fact that I was masculine? And I wanted to share a story with all of you. So, when I left my husband, I was 34, my first husband. I was 34 years old, and I started hanging out with this really wonderful young woman. She was 21. Her name was Bella. And Bella was full of life. She was just fun and funny, and we became very, very good friends. And the only problem with this relationship was that I always felt uncomfortable around men, and Bella was an insatiable flirt. Like, she could walk into a room, and if there was a guy there, a good looking guy that, she set her sights on, she could strike up a conversation with him and engage this guy in no time. And I felt horrible. When we would go out, it would bring up all my old fears about being flawed and unattractive to men and missing whatever that je ne sais quoi was, that Bella seemed to embody. I was so admiring of the skill of hers. And it wasn't that Bella was beautiful. I mean, she had a real charisma. She was extremely attractive, but not a classical beauty. But there was something that men found incredibly alluring about her. And not only that, she had a wicked sense of humor. And men really do love funny women. We have a comedian, I think she may have just completed the course or she's coming to the end of completing the course. And this woman reminds me a lot of Bella. She's just so funny. And men love that. They love women who are funny, who laugh at their jokes, who can really be playful with them. I don't think most women realize, a lot of women don't, how important it is to be able to just get out of your head and have fun and laugh with men. That's really what a lot of really high quality men are looking for in a woman. We want to have all these deep intellectual conversations with men, and men come to us first and foremost because they want to play with feminine energy. They want to play with that part of us that's flirtatious and something that they cannot get from their male friends. So Bella just had this wicked sense of humor, and she was fearless around men. And it really made me feel even worse about myself because I was just out of a marriage. I was newly single, and I really I had stayed in my marriage way longer than I should have. And partly why I stayed was because I didn't feel confident with men. I didn't know how to flirt. And I was really afraid. My husband was the first man that I really connected with. And I wondered if I was going to be alone and single for the rest of my life if I left him. And so that was one of the reasons I know I stayed in that marriage way longer than I should have. In fact, uh, about 8 years earlier, I actually got up the nerve to break it off and leave him, and then I went back to him a year later because I was so, uh I really hadn't dated in the time that we were separated, and I was really lonely, and I wanted a partner, and so I, like many of you, told myself, "Oh, it'll be different this time, and I've changed and he's changed and whatever." And the truth was nothing had changed. So I just went back for another 7 years. And I learned that lesson all over again, that we weren't meant for each other, and that I was really just stuck and staying connected to him because I was afraid to look at myself and figure out what was really going on with me and men. And so while all of, after our divorce and after I met Bella, I wound up seeing this therapist, and her name was Marilyn. And Marilyn was kind of a tough New Yorker. She was really in your face. And she would just tell you, she was one of those women who would tell it like it is. She didn't mince words. She would just, she wasn't the therapist that sat there and said, "Well, what do you think? And why do you think you're doing this? And what are you getting out of it?" No, Marilyn would just be like, "Okay, look." And I told her how intimidating it was to go out with Bella, that it brought up all these feelings of inadequacy and incompetence with men, and that it just really left me feeling badly about myself. And as I was going through getting over my divorce, it wasn't helping. But the hardest part was that I had a very dear relationship with her otherwise. Like, I really loved her. She was a lot of fun. I could see why men liked her so much. I liked her. She was just a light in the world. And so I told Marilyn looked at me and she said, "Well, why are you going out with a 21-year-old? Like, why are you doing that to yourself? You're in your 30s, and men are going to naturally gravitate towards this very young, vivacious, vibrant woman. So, right there, you're setting yourself up, and it's a lose-lose situation." And I guess a part of me, really wanted to go out. I wanted to connect with men. And I felt like maybe there was something I could learn from Bella. But really, all it was doing was making me feel worse about myself. So Marilyn was right. I mean, she was 21, I was 34. It's not like I was so much older and I was still off, that I was off men's radar or anything. But it was hard to compete with that. And with her charisma and all, it was not the best situation for me to be putting myself in. But the real kicker was when I looked at Marilyn and I said, "Yeah, but Bella can wrap any man around her little finger." And I was so envious of her ability to do that. It was something that I had watched other women or other girls when I was growing up be able to do with men and engage them and flirt. And, it just seemed like these women had those men wrapped around their little finger. And Marilyn looked at me with her New Yorker attitude and her cut to the chase way of being. And she looked at me and she said, "Lisa, is that really what you want to do? Wrap a man around your little finger? I don't think you would respect any man that you could wrap around your little finger." And that was an aha moment for me. That was really a turning point, and I realized that no, while I admired that other women could do that, and I didn't have that skill, I realized that if I could wrap a man around my little finger, it would have made me feel like I could manipulate him, that he wasn't a real man, and that I would be able to walk all over a man like that. And I realized that Marilyn was right. Even though this was the way I had watched so many women engaging with men, it wasn't something that I really wanted to do. And I didn't want to connect with men like that. I actually began to see that this wasn't something I aspired to. I wanted to be able to have more ease and more flow and more playfulness with men, but I didn't want to engage with men that I could wrap around my finger. And I didn't want to engage with men at that level. It wasn't in my nature. And she was 100% right. I wouldn't have respected any man that I could do that with. I would have found a man like that immature. I would have thought that he was didn't have a backbone, and it was a turning point. And what I started to see was that while Bella could engage men like that, and she could have fun with men, which is what I ultimately wanted to do, I didn't want to wrap a man around my finger. I wanted to have healthy ways of engaging and playing with men. And what I also saw was that even though Bella could wrap men around her finger and, she had all these men chasing after her and all, what I actually realized was that she didn't know how to really have healthy relationships with men. She wasn't having healthy long-term relationships with high quality men. And that was the ultimate goal, not to be able to flirt and manipulate a man at that level, but to actually find a wonderful high quality man that I could have fun with and feel safe with and be playful with and open up to, but a man who I respected, a man I admired and looked up to, who I could build a real relationship with. And so I set that aside. I stopped making that a goal for myself. And to be honest, it's still not something I can do. I still don't enjoy just sitting and flirting and, doing that with men. It's not in my nature. It's not who I am. But that didn't prevent me from attracting one of the finest men, the finest man I've ever met in my life, and creating a relationship that I would hold up next to anybody's, a relationship that I am so deeply proud of. And what I learned was that I had to find the woman inside of me and evolve that woman, step into becoming the kind of woman that I felt proud to be, who could engage quality men in a way that I felt proud of. And so I began to ask myself, who am I as a woman? What does it mean to be me, to be a woman? Because I never felt comfortable behaving and interacting in the way that I saw girls in junior high, high school, college behaving with men. I always, always felt that I wanted to engage in a way that felt classy and respectful, and where men would look at me and say, wow, she's different from other women. This woman really is a cut above. She's unique. She's a class act. And so as I started to connect with my feminine nature, I started to look at all the things that I thought actually drove men crazy about women. And I decided not to be any of those things, like a game player, like a flirt who, would manipulate men, but then turn into a drama queen once that man became interested in her. I actually decided that it was more important to me to work on evolving myself and really working on my emotional intelligence and how to engage with men without being anxious or insecure or needy or desperate. I didn't want to mother men, talk down to them, shame them. And the truth was that I still can't walk into a bar and compete with other women in that flirtation game. It will never be something that I aspire to. And I really want to make that clear that you do not have to engage men in that way. Now, with my husband, he will tell you I'm the most playful, flirtatious, fun woman he's ever been with. But I found a man who I admire and respect, who I look up to. And I'm able to be that way with him because it comes from such a genuine place inside of me. And this is what we teach our clients, this level of authenticity and genuineness. We do not teach you games or strategies. We teach you how to engage men playfully, but not in a way that they feel manipulated. We teach you how to take the feminine lead with a man, which means that you invite a man to invite you to do something. Instead of saying, why don't you ask me on a date? You say, I would love it if you asked me on a date. If you asked me on a date, I would probably say yes. Why don't you give it a try and see? So we teach you how to do this, but in a very genuine, heartfelt way. And the reason our approach is so unique, so genuine, and so different from what some other coaches are teaching is because we start with teaching you about men, who they are, how they think. I don't know if you know this, but almost all the books about rejection in dating are actually written for men, not women. Men, by and large, take most of the initiative. They ask us out, they pay for the date, they plan the date, they move the sexual, agenda along. They have to progress that. Women by and large want men to progress, you know, be the first one to say, I love you, be the first one to say, would you like to be exclusive? And men, every time they take those steps, every time a man takes initiative, he's facing potential rejection. Many women don't understand because in our minds, we think, well, a man should be a man. He should know, he should man up and take the lead. But so many men have taken the lead and gotten shot down and been rejected by women. And no, they don't just tough it up. They don't love the chase. They have feelings too. And they get hurt just like we do. And so many men have faced so much rejection in their lives that they're terrified to make the first move. And they need a woman to give them the green light, the go ahead, so that they know that it's safe and that she's not going to shoot them down. I couldn't even imagine being a man and having to take the initiative all the time and feeling like, if I ask this beautiful woman out, especially in front of their friends, if you ever notice, men do not often approach women like their male friends will goad them to walk up and ask a woman out, but imagine a man doing that and getting shot down and then having to go back to his group of male friends and tell them, oh, she shot me down, or yeah, she said no. And what that looks like in front of all the guys. Men really get shamed and feel emasculated all the time by women. So knowing that and coming from your heart and making sure that when you take the feminine lead, you set a man up to succeed, it makes it so much easier. And men really will appreciate it and they will pursue women like that. So we teach you how to deal with men, how to approach men and encourage them from the heart so that men can feel safe with you. And yes, you can still make it a bit of a challenge. You're not just spoon feeding them, but you can say, I bet if you asked me out, I would say yes. Why don't you give it a try and find out? Right? So you're still making it a little bit of a challenge. Or if you don't want to have sex right away, or you like to take things slowly, you can say to a man, I really love it when a man moves slowly because I can promise you it's worth the wait. Do you see that? So you're letting him know what you want and you're setting it up in a way that it's a challenge for him. It's well worth the wait. Try me and find out. So you're leading him along in a loving way, in a compassionate, kind, non shaming way. And you are, in some ways, taking the lead, but you're doing it with love and compassion. And I'm telling you, if you do this, men will feel so safe with you. And the ones who don't, the ones who have an agenda and want to bully you or love bomb you or push you or control you, you are going to weed those men out really fast because they will know that you are not a woman to be messed with. They know. They know a woman who's got her act together. They can tell a woman who understands men. So this is an approach that not only will encourage the right men, but it will weed out the wrong men. And a man knows a woman he can't play. A man knows a woman who knows men. So trust me, what I'm saying here is powerful stuff. This is how you are going to get the attention of the best men out there. So, no, you do not want to wrap a man around your little finger. And you don't have to be the most flirtatious woman in the room to get the attention of the best men. You need to be confident. You need to understand men. You need to know how to take the feminine lead. And these are all the things we teach you in our course. I teach a 6-month course called Emotionally Naked Dating. It is the best course of its kind. We hear this over and over and over again from the women who do it. I would love for you to jump on a call with me or a member of my team. Well, not me, because I don't do the calls anymore. But I will give you you can go to lisashield.com/reserve, and that will allow you to book a call if you want to learn a little bit more about what we do before you jump on a call. You can go to lisashield.com, and all over that website is the button to watch my free 45-minute presentation that will teach you more in 45 minutes about men and love and how to capture the hearts of the best men than anything else out there. So please go and watch our 45-minute or my 45-minute presentation. It's amazing. That is the starting point for many of our clients. You can learn a lot more about me. There's also our success stories page where you can learn tons about the women who have already gone through the program and see all kinds of videos and video testimonials from women who have done the program, who have met what we call the guardians of their souls. You probably want to do a little bit more investigation before you sign up for that call. So please, please, please don't waste your love life. Get on a call. Let us show you how we can help you solve this now. I'm Lisa Shield. If you want to send us some of your suggestions for future topics, please go to podcast@lisashield.com. You can send us an email and we will look at your suggestions. Who knows, we may do a future broadcast about that. And you can also watch my Sunday broadcast with my husband, Benjamin, called Getting Inside the Right Male Mind. Thank you for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day. We look forward to working with you and helping you find the guardian of your soul. Bye-bye. Come back and see me again.